My name is Melissa Vallejo. My hometown is St. Cloud, Florida. My role on the Urbana Worship Team, I'm the percussionist for the Urbana 22 Worship Team. I am Puerto Rican, born here in the United States, in Chicago, Illinois. And my job outside of the worship team is I'm the senior manager of operations and community engagement at our organization, which is a 501c6. I won't bore you with that, but I just want to say thank you for even listening right now. And I want to share some stuff with you about being a percussionist and being part of a multi-ethnic worship team. So as part of being the percussionist, one of the greatest joys for me is being able to share part of my culture and our heritage and history on why we have congas, bongos, we have cowbells, so many instruments that we're able to put together and celebrate. So it's from the Afro beats, so we have Afro beats, African drums, we have the Taino Indian, so it comes from shakers and different percussive instruments that our culture actually utilizes and has been passed down from centuries now. And our music is heavily drum driven, and then you'll hear some of the guitars and piano and so on as history just kind of continued to happen. But and basically other people started migrating to the location. For instance, that's when the strings were actually brought to the island. But it's beautiful to be part of a worship team that actually embraces who you are and being able to bring specific sounds that are known to your culture. So as a percussionist, I worked together with the drummer. We were able to fill in certain sounds here and there depending on the songs that we were able to play during Urbana. And we were able to go back and forth, like for instance, the Il Masove, for the Caribbean Joy Medley, we were able to fill in and take certain solos here and there to showcase the percussion side and showcase the drums as well. What's beautiful about that is that you're able to, as a multi-ethnic worship leader, you're able to actually communicate not only with the vocalists, but all that are up front, usually that people are seeing them, what sound they're wanting in particular. And also when you hear something, what you're able to actually do that still honors a song that would normally not have percussion. So the importance of being part of a multi-ethnic worship for me is that you're actually called to listen to one another, basically. And you wanna, if you're interested in something more than what you're used to in your local home church, that's when you start talking to your friends from other churches and you start talking about, hey, what is the sound that you have at your church? What does it sound like at a regular Sunday worship session or Wednesday, whatever day of the week that anyone meets? So for us in our church, for worship, Sundays for us sounded very percussion driven, congas, drums, timbales, bongos, guitars. So it was very percussion driven, and then all the other instruments added. That's again part of our history. So it's beautiful to know that it's in our blood, it's in our culture, and as we come to the Lord and we're able to sing praises and lift his name on high, we're also able to do it with the drums, with the cymbals, with whatever instrument that we actually are able to have and that are part of our culture, just to make sure that our worship is actually genuine. So we're not imitating anything else. And there's a fine line between imitating and actually embracing. So it's important to learn about cultures. It's important to learn backgrounds. It's important to ask questions and be able to actually embrace and learn from that culture and see what the root of worship is for particular different ethnicities and cultures. So make sure you ask questions as you connect with friends and families, and as you even travel, show me, teach me. It's always great to be open and not think that we know it all just because we've heard a particular rhythm through a track, or we've just been able to read music. Doesn't mean that the sounds are actually being authentic. So there's more homework that lies in that, and there's more when you ask questions that you learn and you're able to actually communicate where the root of being so celebratory comes from, specifically for the Latino culture, when it comes from being oppressed and now feeling celebration, and being able also culturally to kind of leave those bad days behind, sorrow, and you're just looking to the Lord or just looking for a happier day, and you're able to celebrate. My experience leading worship at Urbana has been wonderful because I'm able to connect with like-minded individuals that are intentional about asking certain questions, that are intentional about getting to know who I am as an individual, as a worship leader, as a ministry leader, and we're able to connect and journey alongside one another. Some of my best friends actually I've actually met through Urbana. So, and it was my first Urbana was in 2006. So it's wonderful to know that I've had friends since Urbana 2006 all the way up to now in different Urbanas. I've met other people, other worship leaders along the way that have become family. So that's beautiful. Being a musician versus a worship leader, some people ask that question. And for me, it's the same. They're all in one because every musician is a worship leader. We need to approach worship, the worship platform, that way, understanding that you were created to worship and your instrument is actually the instrument that you're using to lead worship. It just comes in different ways, right? So there are worship pastors that you're pastoring the congregation to worship. So we need to understand that some of us are called to actually pastor the congregation and allow them to enter in. But as worship leaders, our talent could be through singing or through an instrument that we're able actually to lead people to the Lord and come to faith even as we play our instruments. A word of encouragement that I would like to give any of you is make sure to ask questions. Make sure to take the time to, if you're interested in playing multi-ethnic music, if you're interested in actually joining a multi-ethnic worship team, or even starting your own multi-ethnic worship team at your home church, to start asking questions, start embracing different cultures, and don't be afraid to do it. There's an interesting there's a quote out there that says, the goal of the local church should not be making people from diverse cultures assimilate to the majority culture, which may rob them of their own cultural identity. Let's make sure we don't rob anyone from their own cultural identity, that we're able to embrace and be able to invite and be able to guide and be able to start something together and journey together, just so we can all build something brand new and bring more people to Christ and allow people to encounter joy, encounter freedom through worship. Thank you.